Hi everybody, today is Monday, June 11th, and in this video I'd like to preview the second learning module of the class, which begins today, and also summarize some important points from learning module 1, which I think we need to address before we move on. I'd like to begin by addressing some of the things that I saw in your module 1 reflection post. Namely, the concern expressed by some people that this course to them appears to be a little too narrow, being focused on grant writing instead of on writing different kinds of proposals. While I understand that there are other kinds of proposals that exist besides grant proposals, there were a couple of, I think, pretty good reasons why I decided to set the class up this way. One reason is that really any kind of proposal, whether it's a grant proposal or business proposal, a contract bid, or anything like that, rests on some pretty fundamental and pretty similar rhetorical principles, and that is identification of a problem, solid understanding of your audience, and being able to research and match the kinds of information that you include in your proposal to your problem and to the needs of your audience and to what that audience is willing to fund. So I think you will find that whether it's a grant proposal or a business proposal or a contract proposal or something like that, you will have to use the same rhetorical principles, the same rhetorical moves, and the same rhetorical steps across those three different kinds of processes. The other reason why we are focusing on grant writing, particularly in this class, is a practical reason, and the reason that I think has to do with my purpose to ensure effective learning given the time frame we have. As you know, it is very difficult, if not impossible, to create several viable substantial written documents in the time that we have allotted. So I think had we decided to kind of go the survey route in this class and say, okay, this month we're going to talk about grants, the next month we're going to talk about business proposals, the third month we're going to talk about something else, we would have really shortchanged ourselves and had not been able to do the kind of in-depth learning and practice that we're able to do by focusing on one kind of proposals, and that is grants. So as a writing teacher, one of my jobs is to give you enough sustained practice in writing substantial documents, in engaging in substantial writing processes and review processes and research processes, which I think would have been much more difficult, if not impossible, had we split up the course into different kinds of proposals. So again, your concerns are well taken. However, I think the reasons for pursuing grant writing in this course, perhaps at the expense of other kinds of proposals, are pretty well grounded on my part as well. If you have any questions about this, if you still feel that you would like to discuss this further, please let me know. So that's what I'd like to address in terms of learning module 1. Now, learning module 2 begins this week, and it's been released on the website. You can access it from the learning modules link on the left-hand side. It will last for 3 weeks, and it will be devoted entirely to researching potential sponsors, potential funders for your project. Now, I know that when we spoke with your clients, some of your groups have received some feedback from Melinda about what the potential funding agencies might be that you may want to look at. That feedback was pretty basic, pretty fragmentary, so you still have work to do in that respect. So again, the next 3 weeks will be devoted to researching, articulating, and understanding how to find suitable sponsoring agencies, funding agencies for your project, and how to interpret their requirements for grant projects, which will enable you to create a better match between your project and the potential funding source. As always, this learning module contains a combination of more informal and more formal writing assignments, or a couple of discussion board posts, as well as a couple of short but more structured assignments that have to do with researching your funding sources and understanding what they want from grant proposals. As usual, everything will be due on Tuesday and Thursday during this learning module. One other thing I want to mention is that next week I'd like to start holding our bi-weekly web sessions, which I mentioned earlier in the semester. And just to remind you, these are sort of informal Q&A opportunities for you, kind of my virtual office hours, I suppose, when you can join myself and your classmates and ask any questions or discuss any concerns that you may have. So we're not going to have one this week, but I'd like to set something up for next week. And I will be sending out some information about when that's going to happen later this week, based on the results of the of your availability poll, which you filled out a couple of weeks ago. So this is what we're doing during this learning module and during this week. I will be grading your reflection posts from the first module today or tomorrow, and you will have access to those results in the gradebook. If you have any questions about anything, of course, please let me know by posting your question in the FAQ forum, or by shooting me a message through the website or by email. Thank you very much. I hope we have a productive week, and I look forward to working with you this week and during this module. Bye-bye.